So I've been looking for the scissors for literally 15 minutes and they are gone. Explain to me how they managed to vanish between the time I sat here and got up and tried to look in the mirror. Where could they have gone? I retraced my steps. I'm about to lose it. I'm about to lose it. And it is very uneven and I fucked up my hair. That's what happens when you watch a YouTube video one time and try to cut your own hair. Choose to follow me or not. Might be a mistake, might be the best thing you've ever discovered. Guess you'll have to find that out yourself. Hello, how's it going? So today I'm gonna take you through my hair care quarantine routine. I kind of made the mistake of leaving dry shampoo on for an entire day multiple times and my hair actually started falling out. So warning, don't do that because your hair will fall out. But what I've been doing is I have currently castor oil in my hair. So I just ordered this off of Amazon and castor oil is so good for moisturizing and for hair growth. So what I did is I just put a ton on my hair, wrapped it up in a bun, and I also put some on my eyebrows and my eyelashes. And you'll notice if you do this every night before bed, you'll start to grow a lot of hair there. 100%. It's really, really awesome stuff. So it's been in my hair so far for a few hours now. I'd say probably, yeah, like 3 or 4 hours. And what I'm gonna do now is I usually like to apply a second type of oil if I'm doing it all day or all night, just because why not? I find with castor oil it's super duper thick, so it's hard to cover all of the hair. So what I'm gonna use, sometimes I just use coconut oil, but I got this Garnier Fructis Nourishing Hair Mask Treatment. I got it for free in Australia at the Australian Open, and I've never used it before, so I'm gonna give it a try. But basically what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna keep my ponytail in for now, but I'm just gonna literally just coat it. And it's awesome if you can leave it overnight because you'll notice a crazy amount of nourishment and like moisturizing then. Like the longer you keep it, the better. But we'll see what happens. It obviously gets all over your sheets and I'm not sure if I'm in the mood to wash them, so I'll update you on that. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it for hours and then I'm going to wash it out and cut my hair. So stay tuned for that. Little DIY haircut. I'll give you all my little tips. I know what I'm doing because I took cosmetology class in grade 11 when I was 16. So I am a certified hair cutter instructor for sure. Also, do you see how much hair I have? And I like to just put it in a bun because I have so much hair and it just gets everywhere. Hey, I'm back. So what I decided to do was keep the hair mask in the entire night. So I just woke up and washed it out. I literally washed my hair like 4 times to get it out. Put a little bit of conditioner, washed that out really well. Made sure to wash at the ends because the worst thing is after a hair mask, so for your hair to dry and just be like super oily and greasy. So made sure that was all good. And then I put a little tiny bit of a keratin hair treatment inside of it and I just brushed it all out. And now I'm going to cut my hair. So I watched one YouTube video on how to do this morning, so I'm practically an expert. Please follow along. So the first step is to cut your hair and make sure it's really brushed through thoroughly. And you want to have a middle part for this. At least I prefer having a middle part. It's a little bit harder when you're cutting on an angle or like an angular part. And plus, even though I do usually part my hair on the side, when I cut it in a middle part, I find it adds more volume when I decide to do the side part. And then what you're gonna wanna do next if you're doing layers is you wanna section up about 2/3 of the hair and put it all the way back in a bun. So you can use a comb to do this or your fingers, whatever is easier for you. And then you should be left with some hair at the bottom still. So you want the majority of your hair to still be on top, but yeah, you're gonna want, yeah, about 1/3 of the hair at the bottom. Here you go. Just make sure I get everything from the back too. So now what you're gonna do is the bottom hair that's left, you're gonna wanna divide it into 2 sections. So kind of like a bottom layer and a top layer, like this, and just keep the bottom layer out. So I'm gonna start with this side. Just make sure it's brushed out nice and smoothly. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your pointer finger and your middle finger and make sure it's nice and straight. And this is when you're gonna decide how much you wanna cut. So I haven't cut my hair in a while, but I'm also terrified of cutting it too short. So I'm probably gonna do about maybe like this much. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start with a blunt cut first, just like that. And then you're gonna go into a point cut, which is basically just shearing the ends like this. This helps make sure that the layers fall nice and evenly, that they blend in with each other well. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the other half, bring it up front and use this piece that you just cut as a guide for you. And here, so you can see where I already cut. So you're just gonna follow that guide and just a little bit of a point cut as well. And now I'm just gonna repeat on the other side. And then you just wanna make sure that both sides are even. It's pretty even to me. Another important thing I should add is make sure that you're using proper hair shears for your hair. If you use regular scissors, it'll cause a lot of breakage. It'll be a little bit harder to cut. It'll give you split ends right off the bat. You don't want that. If you don't have hair shears, a good second option is material scissors. So you want something with a super, super sharp blade. Awesome, so now that I've cut off the ends of my hair, I'm gonna take the top out of the bun and you can just let that fall. I'm just gonna brush her out. Awesome, so another important thing to note is with this type of haircut, it's gonna cause like a V at the back of your head. If you want a straight blunt cut, you're gonna have to do something a little different. It's all just about the angles that you cut it at. So now I have all of my hair down and it's time for the layers. So what I'm gonna do is, it's important to have the center cut still, or part still, sorry. And you're gonna take your comb and you're gonna create a part about 1 centimeter off to the side. And now that you have that, just flip it over, and then what you're actually gonna do is just tie away the rest of this hair. So now what you wanna do, flip it back over, and do a 1 centimeter part on the other side as well. And there we go. And now you're gonna use this as your guide. So the next step, make sure this is brushed out really well. You have all the pieces in. And this is what you're gonna use to determine the length of your other layers. So in order to do that, just literally brush straight upwards and use this to determine your layers. So it's important to use these 2 fingers as well, your pointer and your middle, and keep them nice and firm. And make sure that they're parallel with your scalp and with the sky once you determine your length. So this is gonna be your shortest layer right here. And start with a blunt cut. And then go into a point cut. Awesome, first layer complete. So this is gonna be the length of my first layer. So now what you're gonna do, brush it to the front again, and you're gonna divide this in half to have your middle part once more. Here we go. So this side it's gonna remain untouched. Whereas this side, you're gonna use this piece that we just cut as your guide. So you're gonna, depending on the thickness of your hair and how many layers you want, you're gonna just repeat the same process 1 to 3 times. So you're gonna wanna cut it to the exact same space that you just cut your last one. Another important thing to note is you're cutting it to the exact same location every single time. The reason why the layers get longer is because our heads are round. So every time the hair goes and falls down, then it actually changes the length of the layer. It's important to ensure that every time you're bringing it all the way up to the very top so your layers remain the right length. So it's looking pretty good so far. I'm gonna repeat this exact process on the other side, so I'm gonna speed it up. So what I'm gonna do is I decided I kind of want an extra little layer in there, so I just kind of am dividing it with my hands, have the bottom layer still untouched as I had it before. I'm just gonna trim some of these. And I'm gonna do the same on the other side. Awesome, so I'm pretty happy with it so far. So there's one last thing I'm gonna do. I want the front of my fringe to be a little bit shorter so it frames my face a little bit more. So in order to do that, what you wanna do is divide your hair like this, and you want to make it go to just about your ear, so a few inches back. Here we go. So I'm just gonna brush this out, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my finger on an angle, and this part you want to make sure you have very smooth because obviously this is in the very front of your face, so you don't want to mess this up. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna cut it like this. And make sure you use the point cut again, just to ensure that everything stays. And you're gonna be doing the blunt cut first, and then you're gonna be doing the point cut afterwards, just to ensure that the layers fall smoothly with each other. Just repeating on the other side. So there we go. And it is very uneven, and I fucked up my hair. That's what happens when you watch a YouTube video one time and try to cut your own hair. Let's see it from the back. So there you go, how to cut your own hair. Choose to follow me or not. Might be a mistake, might be the best thing you've ever discovered. Guess you'll have to find that out yourself. So just to fix it up a little bit, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the layers that are framing my face and just make them a little bit shorter at the top, or at the front, sorry. Oh, JK, I don't have my scissors. So I've been looking for the scissors for literally 15 minutes and they are gone. Explain to me how they managed to vanish between the time I sat here and got up and tried to look in the mirror. Where could they have gone? I retraced my steps. I'm about to lose it. I'm about to lose it. I've literally been searching the house for half an hour and they are gone. How? Explain to me how. So I cannot look for them anymore. So I took fabric scissors and that's what we're finishing this haircut up with. This is an absolute disaster. Okay, so here we go. The front is a little bit choppier. I'm gonna actually just frame my face a little bit more. So I'm just gonna take my fingers, I'll make it a little bit more slanted, just like that. And I'm just gonna frame it a little bit more. And there we go, that makes it look a lot better. Okay, so I'm just gonna repeat with the other side. And one side is way shorter than the other because I'm cutting and I'm mad. So, long story short, don't try this at home, kids. Can she salvage it by continuing to cut off more? Anyways, this is my horrible haircut. Good thing we're in quarantine. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking to do this at home, don't. So I went in with my material scissors again because the hair scissors are literally gone. I probably should have taken them being gone as a sign of, you know, stop touching your hair, but I didn't. But that being said, it dried a little bit and I chopped it up a little bit more and it's not horrible. It's like, yes, it's choppy, but honestly, it's definitely quarantine ready, if you know what I'm saying. Like, Anyways, guys, moral of the story is don't cut your own hair unless you have some time to be away from other people. Have a great rest of your day.